Serene here at Model Domestic Church. I wanted to do a video today on my review for Jinger, Duggar, I can't pronounce her new last name, her book, Becoming Free Indeed. First of all, I want to say right up front, I really liked the book. Definitely say it's more about like the word, I guess I would use the word theology, but her beliefs of her prior beliefs and the people that she followed, and versus, really where she's at now, following the Bible and being more of a Bible-based Christian. I don't want to categorize her, but that's like kind of what I got from the book. So I will say that I think she did an amazing job. I got it on Audible and she voiced it like she did the reading herself. And it was so nice to just hear her voice and you could tell kind of the times where she would emphasize certain ways or just like things like that. And so I really appreciated the fact that she read her own book on Audible. And it was very organized. She was very clear about her thoughts and how, she would explain the teaching and then she would give an example and then she would talk about like how it affected her. It was just done very well. I listened to this book with a friend. I have a friend of mine and we would go back and forth on Marco Polo and talk about what we thought about the different chapters. I did find that the book helped me in a way that I wasn't expecting. So she did talk about, I think it's like IBL, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a group with this guy, something Gothard, and about his beliefs and his teachings and how she came to realize that he wasn't really a Bible teacher, that he would take the scripture and he would use them to fit his beliefs. And I am aware of that. I was raised in the Christian Science religion, and I know that Mary Baker Eddy, which was the woman that started the religion, she did a lot of that. She would take verses kind of out of context and use them for what she was trying to teach. And I think a ton of people do this. And this is not just with religion. This is just human nature, probably, to take something that's meaningful to somebody else and utilize something from it to create a bridge between your thoughts and my thoughts. If you knew someone really loved something specifically, like for me, I love Little House on the Prairie. I love Pioneer stuff. I love all of that. And so, if I'm talking to a friend of mine that knows that I love that and they're wanting to talk about something else and they use this thing that I'm interested in to be a bridge between something that they're talking about and something that I would understand, and this is like not the best analogy, but I'm just trying to say like, that's just what we do as humans to connect. But when people use the Bible to do that, I think that becomes something completely different, and it's just kind of a shame. So it was really interesting hearing, her perspective and what she went through. And I found through the book that I can think, this is me personally, this is not a judgment on anybody else, but I have been going through some different things where I've been trying to let go of certain, I don't even think the word would be ideology. It would just be like, I don't even know what the word would be. And I'm not the best at words. At least not lately. It's how a lot of kids I find that I can't always pull a word out of my head, but just ways that people are doing things sometimes in the Catholic Church, not necessarily the Catholic Church, but groups that are within the Catholic Church, and they're really fixated on maybe doing certain things, behaving certain ways, dressing certain ways, reading only certain material, and things like that. There are a lot of groups of people that are Catholic that say that Catholic is ... and then they utilize certain things, whereas like they'll take something that a pope said at a certain point, or something that a saint said, and they'll use it to further their cause. And like I said, it's not a judgment on anyone. If people are going to do things, they're going to do things. But I have recognized that I don't really want to take part in that very much anymore. I just really want to stay close to the heart of the church. And I really want, and I've been working at this for I felt my husband and I both had big conversions through the scriptures and through the mass. And like for my husband, really big, he had his major conversion with the gospel. And I had it through the mass. That was part of my conversion. And then really knowing and learning scripture in context, seeing salvation history. And I just really want to stay in that place. I have spent a lot of years thinking it means like being Catholic means ... Like I keep saying that, but if people dress this certain way, look this certain way, read these certain books, do these certain things, and that's what Catholic means. And all I can say is, being a Catholic, I became Catholic in 2005. So next year will be 20 years, which is crazy, of being Catholic. I have met a lot of Catholics, a lot of different types of Catholics. I've been to a lot of different types of Catholic groups and movements and things like that. And through it all, watching people come and go in the church, stay, leave, going through different things. And I have come to an understanding that really what it's about is, it's about Jesus, and it's about the Bible, and it's about the catechism and the mass, about the church, the teaching body of it, but like also the people, like the church, the people, and just loving people and living out our faith with virtue. And that's just really where I want to be. And when I read this book, it just really was beautiful to watch it, because she went through a similar process of what she calls disentanglement. And I loved it, because it's not like so many people, they do go through kind of almost like a disentanglement, but there's another word she used, and I can't remember what the word is right now, but it's basically we're just like, I'm no longer Christian anymore. And they leave because of the hurt and the pain that they experience. But she talked about disentanglement, which is like, if your hair is all mixed up in something, it's like, or like, as Catholics, sometimes we get like our rosaries and the iPod like things, and like scapulars, all kinds of stuff like all mixed together, and you have to like, disentangle it. And I found that to be very helpful, because I was able to also go through a similar process where I was like, okay, what do I believe? What are the actual teachings of the Catholic Church? What does the Bible actually say? And, how are we living that out in our life? Going to mass, like what are the actual things? And then disentangling myself from all of these extra things that I have kind of like collected over the years as a Catholic woman, and being able to separate them and understand what it actually means to be Catholic and all the other stuff. And other people might go through a completely different experience or, journey, and that's okay. We're all different. But I really enjoyed the book because I could find a lot of parallels in my own life, although it was not exactly the same thing. And I think that comes from, one, having an author who really takes the time and builds a book slowly. Two, being able to piece it together in a very organized way that makes sense, that we can reach the hearts of people. And three, for me, it was like, I knew her, I didn't know her, but I watched her on the show and I kind of followed their journey for a while, and then reading her book. So I had a little bit of like reference point to what she was talking about. And so I just felt like she did a really great job with this book, and with knowing probably who her followers and people that would know her would be. And yeah, so I recommend the book. I think it was great. And I think that it'll be hard for some people, even if you're not in that IBL, I think that's what it's called, community. I'm sure a lot of people are in similar communities where you have somebody, a person, who really puts themselves at a focal point or like a center of this belief or doctrine or something, and makes it where it's like, it's really about them. And then they have ideas and they're using the scripture or like a holy book or something to further their beliefs and their cause. And so I'm just taking this as one more thing, like in my tool belt, as, a Christian woman and a Catholic woman. And like I said, I really enjoyed it. So I wanted to share my thoughts on it, how I was personally affected by the book, and then let you know that I do recommend the book. I think it was really good. And I'd love to hear if any of you have read it and what your thoughts are on it. And have any of you gone through like a disentangled process in your life where it doesn't have to be about faith. It can be about other things, where you've come out of something and you're processing through it. And real quick, I will say I am in the middle of reading the book Boundaries. Really good stuff. Very good. I also purchased another book, which if I decide to go ahead and listen to it, I will do a review book on that, but I'm not going to announce it yet because I want to wait and see if I'm actually going to be reading it. But I will say that I am reading Boundaries, and I'll probably do a book review on that one as well. So I hope you all have a beautiful day. If you're new here, I'd love for you to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up, and I'll talk with you all later. Bye.